Go ahead, make my day. Hi, this is Trey Passer, and this is a video response to Forkerball's top 10 Clint Eastwood movies. Ian Forkerball did a video the other day doing his top 10 list of Clint Eastwood movies, I believe, and I said I would do a video response because I'm like him. I'm a big Clint Eastwood fan. You know, I love westerns in general, and you know, I'm a big the Duke fan, John Wayne, but I'm also a good Clint Eastwood fan also. And Clint Eastwood has done some great movies, not just westerns, but just movies in general. Clint Eastwood is probably one of the most talented, men to ever, star and write and produce and direct movies in Hollywood. So I'm a big fan of most of his work, and I have a list here. It's not quite 10, but I guess if you add it up, it might be 10. But I'm just gonna go through the movies real quick and let you know what I think are some of his best movies. Okay, not number 10. I'm just gonna say them in order, in particular order. Hang 'Em High. That's a western where Clint Eastwood is like a farmer, and he gets hung by these. I guess they would call bounty hunters. They hang him because they think he killed somebody, and they hang him. Of course, but of course he's innocent. Of course, and they hang him, but of course he doesn't. Of course he doesn't die, and he spends the rest of the movie, hunting down the men, the bounty hunters that hung him, and hence the title, Hang 'Em High. Like I said, he was like a retired, I guess, U.S. Marshal, and then he goes back after he. I think I'm trying to remember how he was saved. Somebody saved him in the movie. It's been a while since I've seen it, but he goes back to Pat Hingle, who plays like the local judge, the hanging judge, and he gives him his badge back, his U.S. Marshal badge, and he gets to hunt down the men that hanged him. And it's a really good western. I think Inger Stevens is like the lady, the female love interest in the movie, but it's a great western. Like I said, Clint Eastwood getting revenge for the people that hung him. Okay, so that's one movie that I loved. And the next movie would be High Plains Drifter, which is like just a classic movie. It's movie basically about a stranger who comes to this town. He walks into town, total badass, Clint Eastwood, and the town folks, they see how. I think there's a scene in the beginning of the movie where he's getting a shave and a haircut, and these three men come into the barber shop, and I guess they try to start something, and then the way he just takes, I don't want to, but the way he handles his business is just classic. And Clint Eastwood is just a total badass. But this town previously had a sheriff who was actually killed by three. I think it's three. It was three of them. Yeah, by three outlaws. Okay, they were betrayed. The sheriff was betrayed by the townspeople, and he was murdered. He was basically whipped, if I remember it right. And you have some great imagery in this movie when they do the flashbacks of the sheriff being, basically whipped to death. Okay, and so these outlaws are getting out of prison, and they're coming back to the town. So these town people who seeing what a total badass Clint Eastwood character is, they figure, let's hire him to handle these outlaws that are coming for us. And the movie's just fantastic. Like I said, the violence, the imagery. Clint Eastwood is just, like I said, he's a no sign. I don't think he says too much in this movie at all. He's just like I say, High Plains Drifter. And the movie has a kind of a mystical quality to it, and great imagery in it, and it's just one of the more fantastic westerns that to me that has ever been made. So it's just a pure classic movie, and definitely worth getting. And the next movie on my list would be Thunderbolt Lightfoot. This movie stars, of course, Clint Eastwood, Jeff Bridges, George Kennedy. It's basically about a old bank robber. He gets his old gang back together, and he because they're playing this big heist, and hence Clint Eastwood's character is Thunderbolt, and Jeff Bridges' character is called Lightfoot. And Jeff Bridges is like just so wacky in this movie. But him and Clint Eastwood have great chemistry in the movie, and like I said, it's just one of these. It's like I said, it's caper movies, from the '70s, and like I said, the chemistry between Clint Eastwood and Jeff Bridges just makes this movie. They're just, because Jeff Bridges is totally, without giving anything away about too much away about the plot, besides them playing the big heist. Jeff Bridges is just plain wacky, and he has personality. That's what I want to say. I want to say about star quality, but Jeff Bridges totally has it in this movie. Clint Eastwood, like I say, he plays a sort of a laid-back character, but Jeff Bridges is totally, just totally wacky and outrageous. And I don't want to spoil the ending of this movie, but it got to me. Okay, the ending of this movie. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. So let people experience it for themselves. But I was going to say that the ending of this movie, Thunderbolt Lightfoot, got to me. And like I said, Jeff Bridges and Clint Eastwood, great chemistry in this movie. Okay. And the next movie on my list is the Outlaw Josey Wales. Basically, it's a story about a farmer in the South, I believe, and his family gets killed. He gets attacked. His son gets killed. His wife gets raped and murdered. So of course, this is during the time of the Civil War. So of course, Josey Wales he joins up with the Confederacy, fighting the Union, and killing every Union guy he can think of, because I think the Union red flags are the ones that actually killed his family. So of course he joined the Confederacy and was killing as many Union guys as he could. And then there was amnesty, and there was, when the war was over, when the South officially lost, and all the Confederate guys had to come in and turn in their guns. But of course, when they did this, they got slaughtered. Okay, and of course Josey Wales didn't turn in his gun, but he saw the slaughter, so he kept, just blowing away any Union guy, any bounty hunter they ever sent after him. He was just Outlaw Josey Wales, just a total badass. And there's a line in the movie that I never forget. To this day, it sticks in my head. Where he's in a bar. Josey Wales is in a bar. Clint Eastwood, and I believe it's a sheriff. I don't know if it's a sheriff or a deputy or maybe a bounty hunter. He comes into the bar. He recognizes Josey Wales from the wanted poster. He sees him, and then he walks out. Okay, there's great tension because he sees him, then he walks back out, but then he comes back in, and then he says, "I'm sorry, I got to do this. It's a living, it's my living." And then Clint Eastwood gives a classic line, "Well, dying ain't much of a living, is it, boy?" All right, and I just love that line from Clint Eastwood. And there's another line, I think I don't want to screw this up. Something about whistling Dixie or something. I forgot the exact phrase of that line. But are you gonna play taps, or are you gonna? I forgot exactly the way it's a classic line which I'm totally screwing up, but which I can't remember. But I always had something. Are you gonna whistle Dixie, or are you gonna start shooting or draw your pistols, or are you gonna start whistling Dixie or something before he blows away some guys in the movie? Which is that's it. Like I said, Outlaw Josey Wales is just a classic Western, and Clint Eastwood, just of course, the total badass Josey Wales, and he's just a total badass. That's all I can say about that one. And the next movie on my list is Tightrope. Now, in this movie, Clint Eastwood plays a cop, but this cop is not the normal cop. This cop is like a cop on the edge. He's a cop in New Orleans, and he's a widower, I think, and he's raising two young daughters, and I think his youngest actual real daughter in real life played one of the daughters. But anyway, he's like this cop on the edge who's investigating these serial sex murders that are happening in New Orleans. And the thing is, you get the Clint Eastwood's character, like I said, he's a cop that's on the edge because he has all these kinky fetishes, sex fetishes. He visits prostitutes, and he has all these kinky fetishes. And the movie is quite, titillating, and it was quite a departure for Clint Eastwood to me to make this movie. But it's a great, nice suspense movie. Stuff like I said, it's Clint Eastwood's hunting this killer. He's hunting this killer of women, of prostitutes in New Orleans, and it's a really, like I said, the movie's really good, and it's like I said, it's not your typical Clint Eastwood movie. It's a good set, and it just shows you what a versatile actor Clint Eastwood really is. But because usually he plays a specific type, and in this movie like a cop on the edge, and who has, like I said, all these sexual kinky stuff that he does, and he thinks he's more like the killer than he wants to admit. Okay, and it's a really good movie, good thriller, definitely one of his best. Again, the next movie on my list, Clint Eastwood movie, is Unforgiven, a classic western. Just this was Clint Eastwood's western. I think it's the first western in years that he did. Won tons of Academy Awards. I think Gene Hackman won for Best Actor. I think it won for Best Director, Best Picture. But anyway, this movie is basically about Bill Money. That's Clint Eastwood's character. He's like a retired, retired killer, basically is what they call him. I think there's a legend about him. They say he's a killer of women and children. That he's just this total badass. And basically, the story is about this group of prostitutes that work in this town. They one of them, their own, gets cut up by one of these one of these ranchers, hands that work for a ranch, that works for a rancher, and they do it in a town where Gene Hackman's like the local sheriff, and he's a like I said, total bastard of a sheriff who dispenses justice, as he sees fit. But the prostitutes are not satisfied with the justice that he hands out for one of the prostitutes getting cut up by this ranch hand. So they go out and they hire these hired guns. They put a bounty out for the murder of this rancher, the ranch hand that did this. So they hire this young kid called the Missouri Kid, and and he enlists Bill Money, played by Clint Eastwood, who's he's a farmer who's long retired, but he's struggling on his farm. His wife is dead, and he's struggling to support his kids. Okay, he's struggling to be a farmer, but he really can't do it that well. So when he gets this opportunity to make some money, he takes it. He takes the opportunity, and he gets his old running mate, played by Morgan Freeman. I forgot his character's name in the movie, but he goes to get him, and they go and dispense justice, for the prostitutes. But of course, without giving away, I don't want to give away too much else of the plot. What happens is, like I said, Clint Eastwood, like I say, he goes back to his killing ways, and there's a scene. And this movie is basically about how the West is dying and stuff, and about killers, and basically redemption. Because there's a great line in the movie where the young kid, I think he says to Clint Eastwood's character, Bill Money, he had it coming, right? And Clint Eastwood character goes, yeah, we all got it coming, kid. And the last, I don't want to give it too much more away the plot, but suffice to say, towards the end of the movie, I think the last about 15 minutes of the movie, there's a scene in the bar where it's just totally worth the price of admission. I don't want to say any more about that for those who haven't seen it, but that scene alone right there is probably what won that movie Best Picture. Okay, because the scene is just, you have some great acting, and just the tension in the whole scene. It's absolutely fantastic. So that's why Unforgiven would be on my list of classic great Clint Eastwood movies. And the top movie for my list for Clint Eastwood, of course, would be the Dirty Harry movies. These movies are just, what can you say? Clint Eastwood as Harry Callahan from the first movie. He's just been. I think there were 5 Dirty Harry movies, right? If I believe I'm right. Dirty Harry, Magnum Force, the Deadpool, Sudden Impact. What was the other one? I think it's 5, right? What did I say? The Deadpool. Wait. Dirty Harry, Magnum Force. Wait. Dirty Harry, Magnum Force, the Deadpool, Sudden Impact, and let me see, what was the other one? I think I might remember. Oh, there's one that I can't remember. I have the thing here. Let's see. I can't remember the other. I think it was 5 Dirty Harry movies. But I can't remember the other one. I know Deadpool, I think, was the last one. Magnum Force. Sudden Impact. Of course, Dirty Harry. I can't remember the other one. I think there was 5 of them. If I'm wrong about that, somebody can correct me and tell me what the 5th movie. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know. But anyway, Dirty Harry movies to me were just fantastic movies. Because Clint Eastwood, like I said, cop in San Francisco, Inspector Harry Callahan, and I think he even explains why they call him Dirty Harry, because every dirty job he gets, and they give him every dirty job. And but he's just a total badass. And of course, in the first Dirty Harry movie, he's after this guy called Scorpio, I think, played by Andrew Robinson, who's just this psycho who kidnaps a girl in the beginning of the movie, and then he's just a complete psycho. He even, I think, he kidnaps a bus full of school kids. He's just a total psycho, who tries, who's really out there, and who even, well, I don't want to give away the plot of what he does in the movie, but it's definitely one of these great movies from the 70s that just took the whole cop genre into a different direction. It introduced like the cop, like I said, Dirty Harry, the cop. It was a total badass, didn't care about the rules, okay, lived by his own code and stuff, and handed out justice the way he saw fit. And of course, Clint Eastwood being a total badass, it's just, just the way it was, okay. And so those are my Clint Eastwood movies. I hope you like them. Let me know what you think of them. And like I said, maybe you can remember the 5th Dirty Harry movie. I gave away the Dirty Harry movies in a contest a couple of months ago, and I can't for the life of me remember what the 5th Dirty Harry movie is. Let me see if I can try it one more time. Dirty Harry, Magnum Force, Sudden Impact, Deadpool. I think that's. Hold on. I'm gonna look, because it's gonna drive me crazy until I figure this out. Hold on. While I have you on right here, I'm going to Google it because I know. Let's see. I know. Or maybe I'm. Let's see. Okay, there we go. The Enforcer. That's the one I couldn't remember. Okay, The Enforcer. I'm sorry, I don't know why I remember it. It was Dirty Harry. I know that, and because I can't remember what The Enforcer was about. I know Dirty Harry was, about the Scorpion and Andrew Robinson. Magnum Force, I believe, was about the dirty cops. Okay, with the cops that were going around killing, killing criminals. I think The Enforcer was the one with I can't remember the guy that used to be married to I can't remember his name. Hal Holbrook. That's the guy. He was, I think, the villain in Sudden Impact. And the Deadpool, of course, was that was the one with I think the last one. No, wait. Yeah, Sudden Impact was the one where Sandra Locke was going around killing the guys that killed her sister, raped and killed her sister, and raped her, I believe. That was Sudden Impact. Enforcer was the one with Hal Holbrook was, I think, was the main villain in that. And Magnum Force was the one where there were dirty cops, going around killing criminals. And Dirty Harry, of course, was the first original one. He was fighting that criminal called Scorpio, I can't remember, for Andrew Robinson, who was like a total psycho, who kidnapped a girl and kidnapped a bus full of kids. And of course, Deadpool was the last one that he did with Jim Carrey was like a rock star, and I think somebody was going around killing celebrities and stuff. So that's my list. Again, I'm sorry, I had to look it up just to clear my mind. So I hope you like my list, Ian, and thank you for doing this Clint Eastwood thing. It made me think about movies for Clint Eastwood. I absolutely love, like I said, I love his films. So this is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care. I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 5 shots or 6? To tell you the truth, I kind of lost track in all this excitement. But being this is the 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and can blow your head clean off, you got to ask yourself a question. Do you feel lucky? Well, do you? Punk.